You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
No Esks history moment. But
wait, Fred Stamps was awesome.
What?
History.
Oh, no. Nice. Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Riley's in the shotgun, looking downfield, and then throws. It is up in the air to the goal line. Bounces. What a catch! What a catch by Duke Williams! Touchdown, Eskimos! Bryant Mitchell! It's going to be intercepted. Arjun Colhoun.
Mike appears to be a CFL encyclopedia.
Welcome back to the Turf District for the Eskimo Empire Podcast, brought to you by United Construction Company. I am your host, Andrew, and of course you can find all of our social media channels, blogs, and show links at eskempire.ca. And while you're on the internet anyway, you might as well check out our sponsor at unitedconstruction.ca or on Twitter at UCC_EDM. Check out all the amazing work they do, including sponsoring this podcast, which is very nice of them. With me, of course, is the one and only Commissioner Kay.
Yeehaw! What's about to get rowdy here tonight?
It's getting a little crazy. That's what we do. We're back from our hiatus. How have you been? I mean, I saw you on Saturday. We have seen each other while while I've been away. But how have you been?
Busy.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I know. You're making scarves like crazy. You're doing focal points. You're doing
Not
what the
so
heck?
much,
Not as
am
many.
I? No.
You did a couple though.
I have, yeah, but I kind of fell off the bandwagon with these bloody scarves. Like,
You didn't think they'd be quite so popular?
Not as popular, not as time consuming either. But I think it was the specific design that I did for Debs.
Oh, okay.
It just took way longer than I expected. I thought a week, and I think it took almost 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just because it's a reversible scarf.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, mind you, I work too, right? So I come home, I eat, I crochet, I go to bed. That's all I did.
That's all you've been doing.
That's all I've been doing. And then watching football.
Okay, well, that last part's very important.
I mean, well, it's all, like, I loved it, but I was just like, why is this trigger is so freaking long? And because it was my first one, I'd make mistakes, so you'd have to unravel and then start over. And
yeah.
But it was
the
fun.
one you brought tonight, although the wrong colors, it looks very nice.
Well, that one actually, my friend knit.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
Wonderful.
she's also helping me. She's done that one, and she's working on another one.
Okay.
And then my sister's crocheting, I'm crocheting, and apparently my mom's going to start crocheting.
Okay, perfect. Well,
which is going to help.
It's like a whole family affair. That's wonderful. Speaking of family affair, if those of you might be wondering, Superfan is not here this evening because he is feeling a tad under the weather. So we do hope that Superfan feels better and that he will be back next week. If you got a chance, I did, of course, get a special episode with podcaster Ryan, and it was always fun. He was just called me. He was happened to come into town. I'm like, well, come on over and we'll record a show. Now, the funny thing is when I have podcaster Ryan come here, even if I get him on the phone, he comes in, we came down here and we sat and we started talking, and I'm like, okay, well, like the preamble, right?
Yeah,
like we do, we just chat with guests and things. And an hour later, we decided maybe we should start recording this.
Well, that sounds about right.
So then we started recording and recorded for an hour and 20 minutes. And then we talked for another hour. And he's like, holy crap, it's midnight. I'm like, what? Like, I have to get up with the kids. And he had to, so much fun though. And a great conversation, great breakdown, a bit of the Stamps and Eskimos in general.
Yeah.
We did talk a little bit about the games, but mostly it was about the rivalry and the differences with the teams.
Yeah.
But then we did break into the differences in fan bases and, what it's like and what it was like for him on Big Brother and some of these other things.
Yes,
so
yeah.
try to cover a whole bunch of that. So it was really fun. So if you haven't listened, check it out. And thank you again to podcaster Ryan from the CFL Horsemen for joining me, because it was a blast.
Check out their podcast too.
Yes,
while you're
absolutely.
At it.
You should. They're pretty freeform. Let me tell you, it's a lot of fun.
Not so much with the PG.
They don't have. No, they don't have fire truckers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or loons or anything else. It's loony for flight Alouette to deck, and the elk for 2 and out. So we find spots. Now, one of the cool things happened this weekend. Of course, we had the tailgate. You and I both had taken a bunch of pictures with kind of look at the diversity. We have all these different teams here and things.
Yes.
And one of those actually got featured on the CFL.ca site in the Snap. And I love the fact that it just shows all of us
as one
together.
I know that sounds so cheesy, but
it really was, but it was great. We had so much at the tailgate. Anybody who came, thank you so much. And next time, I hope we get the same kind of crowd. I mean, we went through 7 pounds of taco meat.
That's insane.
And it was gone. Everything was gone because we had so many people visiting, and it was just so fun to chat with everybody. And so I hope that happens again. And I think the next ones are pizzas, mini pizzas on the barbecue. Oh my goodness. So, so make sure that you come down for that one. I think the next home game is against Winnipeg, if I remember correctly. I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not up there because I didn't do that properly. I can look right here, actually, because I have this handy thing. Schedule? That's from last year. Isn't that helpful?
Oh, that is super helpful.
I'm really helpful that way. Our next game is the 22nd against Ottawa. There we go.
And then the home game is
is this? No, home game is, I missed that. Sorry. Yeah. The next game is against Winnipeg on September 29th. The Ottawa game is our next away game. All right.
Yes.
So
tough one.
Yeah, exactly. So pizzas on the barbecue.
So good.
So fun.
So good.
Come join us. It's a lot of a blast.
It's a lot of a blast?
It's a lot of a blast. I'm just leaving that there. Yep. All right, let's talk about our game since we have been gone. So as it turns out, we are obviously the luck charm for the Eskimos because they've only gone 2-3 since we stopped recording, which is
You're not welcome.
Come on, guys. So we had losses to BC, 2 walk-off field goal losses to Hamilton and to Calgary. And then, of course, we did beat Montreal in the middle there, and we won the game this past Saturday. So kind of nice that we did at least get some wins in there.
Yeah.
Now, you were at the Montreal game. That was one where I couldn't go.
Huh?
When we played Montreal here. And I was at home because I had just had surgery.
That what I was thinking
Remember
of? The
that?
one that we played. Oh, sorry. Shh.
Nice. Okay. Yeah,
sorry. No,
phone.
I was thinking about the one that we were in Montreal, but that was was like ancient times.
No. The one here that we played Montreal that I was not able to go to. Yes.
I don't remember that game.
That was the debut of Antonio Pipkin, and we squeaked it out. Don't remember?
Not at all.
Okay, well, that's
that
all right.
is embarrassing.
That's all right. It's all good.
When was that?
That would have been August the 18th. That's scary to think, actually, because we're September 11th.
We're almost
here
halfway
now,
through September.
Wow. Man, oh man. And we're going to get snow right away. Isn't that fun?
No.
Okay, good.
I mean, actually, I like winter as long as it's comes after.
I'll pass. I don't like the slipping part.
Well, yeah, or the tobogganing part.
Yeah, no, that part's really crappy.
Okay, wait. What was the score?
Good question. I didn't write it down.
We are just a treat,
aren't we? All right. How about we just talk about the Calgary games?
I remember the BC. I remember the ones that we lost.
that BC was bad. Okay, so let's talk about the games this past week. So
I remember those.
So the Labor Day Classic, you went down.
Yes.
And much more exciting game than I think either of us expected it to be.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's do this for both games because it's just the two of us tonight. So, what would be your good in that game from the Labor Day game?
I would say not being defeated embarrassingly. actually coming out strong and keeping quite strong for the entirety of the game. Mind you, we won or lost by 3, a field goal. And it sucks to think that... You be quiet. I never get messages.
Popular. You're very popular.
It sucks to think that, Sean White missed a field goal too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the reason why we lost at all, but it's just like, that's in the back of your mind, and probably, I don't know, but if it is in his too, but you're just like, oh my gosh, like, that could have been the tie, and then go into overtime, that. It's
okay, knowing Whitey like we do at this point, it was probably like just motivation to, I am not missing another one the rest of the year.
And then look what flawless in this last game, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
And that is, I don't know if it was just a weird wind gust, because the flags were kind of moving, so you just wow, I just completely got off topic.
That's okay.
But the good, that would be my good, is actually showing up to the game, keeping ourselves in the game for the most part.
Yeah.
But those will come with the
other side. Yeah. The good for me in this game is what I think none of us expected, that it was a defensive battle. Now, yes, Darrell Walker goes down, Kamar Jordan goes down. Believe I did miss a few snaps, but I mean, the defenses on both sides played very well.
Yeah.
And I was really impressed, actually, with the Eskimo defense. They held Don Jackson. I mean, he had still a decent game, but they held him fairly well. And it wasn't just, a light show down the field in the secondary, right?
Yeah.
And they sacked Levi a couple of times.
Yeah, so they did. Yeah.
So there was a lot of good defense happening, which I don't think we expected, and that was
especially in Calgary.
Exactly, in Calgary, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was really fantastic.
Yeah.
As far as the WTF moments, I mean, 3 times it was turned over, and
possession.
I know, yeah. Yeah, 3 turnovers, 4 possessions, and 2 of those were in field goal range when we turned it over, and that's the killer. I mean, that's the killer. So many people were prepared to put the whole loss on to Edwards for the penalty.
That's silly.
But what really lost the game was the 3 turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was absolutely devastating, because they were moving all 3 times, and then
I mean, like, once you're like, okay, one, like. Yeah. It happens. It's crappy. Twice you're like, oh, okay, but you can't do that again. Yeah, you can't do that again. Oh, what do? You do that again.
Yeah.
Like, amateur hour. Holy crap. I know when I saw people on Twitter that were blaming Edwards, I'm like, he actually had he had a good game.
I think he had his best game as an Eskimo.
And he's improving. And that's what I appreciate. Like, okay, you made mistakes, but I don't really care, because now you're disciplining yourself a little bit more, and
he's not taking the 15-yard
stupid penalties, right?
After the calls,
the stupid penalties. He took kind of a football penalty, which sucks, and it led to a better position on the field.
Yes,
but it didn't lose us the game. And
well, it was horrible timing.
It was,
because that penalty happened, and that's a unfortunate part. It was because Kwaku got the sack.
Yeah. And then it got taken away.
On second down, and that penalty happened, and it kept Calgary on the field instead of them having to kick the punt.
Yeah. Or do you think they would have gone?
No, not tied. Not tied.
What was the time? Was it like 2?
I think there was 2 minutes left, or under 2 minutes left.
Okay.
And it was a tie game, so what they would have done is punted and let their defense try and stop us from getting the field goal.
Well, you never know, because Dickinson actually did the opposite in Edmonton. He didn't kick. He went 3. Oh my gosh.
No, are you talking?
He went on the 3rd, lost possession. We gained it and got a touchdown.
Now, are you talking about the one on the 3-yard line when they went for it and the guy dropped it early in the game? Or are you talking late in the game?
Earlier in the game. I thought it was in the second half, or the second quarter.
Yeah, they went, but they were on our 3-yard line. That's different.
That's true.
That's a difference. But
in Calgary,
that sack counts, they're still on their side of midfield.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of then.
No, sorry, I meant in the Labor Day game.
No, that one. But the other one was they were still on their end in Calgary's territory.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure, because I remember the one you're talking about, and I was like, yeah, of course you're going to go because they're going to have terrible position on the field.
Right.
No, I remember that because that was right in front of us.
Yeah.
This one was on the opposite side.
But that was when they were way down. And you had to try and come
yeah,
back,
it was.
right? Yeah.
It was 21-7.
That's in the game this past Saturday.
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
Okay, we're mixing the two games.
Yeah, but going. But I was just saying, like, you never know with Dickinson. Like, usually he's pretty whatever, but
he likes to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. But I think that if that play would have standed. Holy man. I swear I'm only drinking cream soda tonight, yet I can't talk. If that play would have stood, then I think they would have punted and it would have, and their defense is great too, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered. But
we can speculate all we want, but it was still.
It wasn't the penalty, that's the thing.
Exactly.
And actually that's the part that we missed in the good part. We had 2 penalties.
Isn't that
great? Now, and this past game, we had 2 penalties.
Yeah.
So obviously something has changed. And I remember Moss talked about it. That was about 4 weeks ago, where this has got to stop.
Yeah,
this has got to stop.
Yeah,
and the penalties he was talking about was the pre-snap penalty, the offside, the procedures, and we haven't had those for 2.5 games.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, there obviously something has happened, and Edwards did not have a penalty in the game this past Saturday.
No,
either.
He did not.
So that's, I mean, we want to harp and we want to be excited about the great big numbers and the win. But I think we also have to be excited about the little things that we were harping on before, because the penalties have been much better.
Well, and I think that's one of the biggest things is you're way more cohesive. And I think that also plays into how enjoyable the games are.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's so much more fluid and you aren't taken back by like stupid penalties and you're like, which is exactly what I do in my feet.
Yes.
But
one of these days I'm just going to sit beside you just for the soundboard. Yeah, here, just record this. Yeah, just record Kayla for the whole game, and then I'll just edit out the good parts. I need this part. That's
poor larynx. Like, I feel bad for it.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, let's go to our game this past Saturday. I know we've talked a little bit about it already, but I know you have lots of points, so I want to make sure that we get through these. So
bullet points.
Where's the good in this game for you?
Oh, there's just so many, but the one that sticks out for me the most is, like you said, Sean White missed that field goal, but that gave him a reason to be like, nope, not this time.
Yep, shaved off the beard, and now it's not going anywhere.
Boy was flawless.
Yeah.
2 for 2 in field goals, 5 for 5 in converts. Like
6 for 6 in converts.
CFL's wrong then on their website. They're 5 for 5.
It'll be 6 for 6 because they got 6 touchdowns. So yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not my fault. CFL
42 for touchdowns and 2 field goals for 6 for 48 points.
Yeah. Well, it's not my fault. CFL had 5
Way
and 5.
to go, CFL. Jeez. Okay.
I'll go tell him.
Wait.
Okay. Anywho, he was
He was flawless. We're both on fire tonight.
He was flawless, but that's like, to be expected. But to come from that game in Calgary, which he was still awesome, but to miss that pretty important field goal and then come back here, do it flawlessly. Who is the real money?
Yeah.
Like, that's
pretty impressive.
You hear that?
It's very good. I like it.
I mean, there's just so many points, but to me, and from 52 yards.
That one was amazing. And it just cleared. Such a great kick.
Work on that kick a little bit more. We might need you from 55 at one point.
If it was from 53, it might have hit the bar, but that was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. I loved it. I agree.
So many,
other
though.
goods?
Other goods?
Yes.
Well, like you said, capitalizing on the turnovers, 31 points
Huge.
for turnovers. That's a good for us, but it's 7 turnovers from Calgary. Sucks for you guys. Great for us.
Yeah.
But just actually, well, fourth quarter something different, but holding our opponent going into the third, which is something we've really struggled with. And I have a little stat here that I'd like to share.
Lovely. I love that.
Yes. So in the last 3 games combined, we've only scored 6 points in the second half.
Wow.
6 points in 3 games combined in the second half.
But not this one, this past Saturday. Because this past Saturday, we scored a bunch in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter,
it was a dud.
Zip.
I have the fourth quarter cringe is what I like to call it.
I like that.
Yes.
The fourth quarter cringe. We've had that for at least 4 games.
But at least now, because it was the first half we were coming on dominant, and then the second half we disappeared. At least now we have the 3 quarters.
We're up to 3. We're working our way up.
We're
We're
working our
45
way up,
minutes
right?
now. We're 3/4 of the way there. Just one more quarter, boys. One more 15 minutes.
And it's okay because now it's the most important time of the season where you need to win those. So they're working their way up but I think this is the game that I've been the most critical of, because this is the time where you can't make silly mistakes like the fourth quarter cringe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, there was just so many positives to this game. Forrest Hightower, that beautiful interception.
That was a beautiful read on that pick.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And Marcy Maston with the other one.
Yep. Now, that one was a bit lucky because
that was lucky. He slipped.
It slipped. The Calgary guy slipped, and then it went right to him.
And then Aaron Grimes finally
which
got
was
one.
Basically a punt.
Yeah.
Because he threw it way down the field.
Yeah. But it's still
works.
a turnover. Yeah.
Absolutely,
So those DBs getting some action in
So
the
that
secondary.
was 3 of the turnovers. Then they had 2 turnovers on downs. One at the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
Which we then turned into a 107-yard touchdown drive.
Which is very rare for usually when we're pinned down that deep. We don't go anywhere.
Yeah. First play, right?
Yeah.
Duke Williams goes out and then gets hurt. But side of it. Yeah.
There's a bye week. We're fine.
That's right. So we had 2, so that's 5. And then there were 2 fumbles. The one that was the where he dropped it off the kickoff or off the punt, which was huge.
Konar turned it over, and then Ajay
picks it up. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was nice. We kind of, coughed it up to them the week before, and then they did this week. Now, we had our own turnovers in this game too, but it wasn't nearly as bad.
That weird one from Mike.
Yeah.
I watched that and I'm like, that's just so weird.
Now, a good point was brought up to me about that, and I'm going to ask you about this, because the fourth quarter, we're up by 20 points.
Yeah.
I understand we're playing Calgary, and Riley's the guy.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
He's second for rushing, by the way, in this game.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? But at that stage of the game, up 20 points, and I know you can't take it out of him because it's just what he does. He dives, he pushes for that.
Yeah.
But that fumble, I mean, that came very close to being a massive turning point in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And So 2 things come to mind. One is, I don't remember what time of the game that happened, what time was left, but whether or not Mike Riley should have still been in there and not just been Kevin Glenn handing the ball off at that point and protecting the lead and running the clock. Or am I more saying, okay, Mike, you got to read the game situation and you got to slide there and don't protect the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what my feeling is on it yet, but I have to, what do you think? I don't know.
Well, I don't think I would have taken Riley out because it is Calgary.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's the defense's job now to, but again, we didn't score in the fourth.
I know, we didn't score in the fourth quarter. That's the thing, right? And we didn't run the clock. When going into the fourth quarter, we had a 12-minute advantage in time of possession.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. That's almost a full quarter ahead, right? Time of possession. But in the fourth quarter, we actually lost 3. We only ended up with 9 minutes ahead.
Yeah.
And I've like podcaster Ryan says, a Suzanne Summers thigh squeezer away from a touchdown that would have won Calgary the game. Like,
he wasn't arguing that it was a catch.
No, he didn't,
because there are some people who were like, that was a catch.
No, it bounced between his legs and hit the ground.
In slow motion, it looks like it was a catch, but in real time, he didn't hold the ball onto the ball.
It bounced off the ground.
That is one of my other things.
But if he squeezed his legs a little bit more, it would have been a catch between his legs, and it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
And we'd have lost because Paredes would have kicked the field goal, or the point after, and we would have lost by 1 point. And as it turns out, we win by 6, which then now gives us the season series against Calgary.
Well, and that's one of the things that actually really irked me about this. There are 4 Eskimos in that end zone going after the ball. There is 1 Stampeder, and you're going to tell me that guy actually held onto the ball for the amount of time he did with 4 guys. You can't jump higher than 1. You can't just kind of like hip check. Or
just have to knock it down.
Like
knock down the ball.
Are you serious? That made me so angry because we were up in the stands like, is it over? Did he catch it? What happened?
Yeah,
is it over? What happened?
I waited until the ref actually
because everyone was going onto the field and we're like, but they're still debating over there. What the heck?
Yeah.
But that was like 4 Eskimos versus 1 Stampede. That kind of scares me, actually.
Yeah, that's, I
feel like
that goes in the WTF part for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, let me go back to a couple of good things on this game.
Yeah.
Mike Riley, of course, 6 total TDs, 3 on the ground, 3 in the air. First quarterback to do that. And, of course, then he ended up getting Player of the Week for that, which not surprising. He was a monster in fantasy. He had over 50 points.
Like, that's like Air Riley shoes.
Oh, that Air Riley shoes. What Warrior Riley shoes.
Warrior Riley.
There we go. Yeah, got to make sure that that's right. Duke, of course, another 100+ yard game. Now he did go down awkwardly at that one point. Looked like shoulder, but he was able to come back in the second half. Yeah, they were deciding between wrist and shoulder, but he had extra padding on his shoulder.
Yes.
And he was kind of finicky with that later on. But I do think that he was... he still had a monster game. And now, again, like you said, we have the bye week, so hopefully everything will be back to okay by the time that we're playing Ottawa.
Probably just a little bruising or, tenderness.
Yeah, if he dislocated it and had to put it back, then...
Yeah, but he came back, right? So you can't just come back if you're seriously injured, no matter how much you want to. The
Right.
They're not going to let you.
Right. Yeah, they have to do something about it. So anyway, it was very good. The other good thing that I want to put in there is the crowd.
Right?
I mean, it was crazy. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. We actually got to sit with some friends. So we were down lower. We were in row 30 in section I.
Oh, okay.
And man, I tell you, it was just loud. Oh, you just feel the electricity. It was fantastic. Great crowd.
Yeah, I just want to point out one thing, though, that really kind of bothers me is, dear Eskimo fans, if the Stampeders are cheering hard when our defense is on the field, or our offense is on the field, they're cheering on their defense, don't tell them to shut up. I mean, it's fun to do like fun banter and stuff, but don't be there and be like, oh, shut up. No. We want that. We want that atmosphere regardless of where you're at. In McMahon last week, it was so much fun. We were loud. We were proud. And yeah, we had some stinkers that were being...
Okay.
But you're going to get that in any stadium. You just ignore them. But for the most part, everyone was kind of like laughing, smiling, like turning around because we would do all our rituals that we do during our game. And, we kept that alive. We were loud and most people appreciated that. So same for Calgary fans. Like when they come down here, respect that they're here, respect that they want to cheer for their team, be loud for their team. They should be able to. Banter's fun, but don't be a jerk. Don't be an right?
Exactly, and we should be and we should be louder anyway.
Well, there's one way to shut them up. There's one way to shut them up is you be louder when our defense is on, and when we score. So you have to pull your weight just as much as they do as fans. So yeah, just a friendly word from your neighborhood police department
commissioner.
Commissioner, yeah, dang it.
I like that. All right, so I'm sure we have a couple what the for this game. You want to start? Okay, go ahead.
One of mine, I should say, is I know I am a huge fan of Josh Woodman, and he had 4 defensive tackles.
Yes.
But man, they were eating him up alive in this game. I felt so bad, and then he got injured. He came back, but he did hurt himself. But he was just that one return. Who
or
was
the
that
DeVaris Daniels catch that was 77 yards down the field
yeah.
right after we scored a touchdown.
Right through everyone, and like they could not keep up with them.
Yeah.
Like that guy they were all faster than our DBs and our safeties. And even on special teams, I was like, oh, I think that one hurt the most. That one hurt the most. And it just sucks because you're like, if you just would have extended your arm right there, you could have caught him.
Right. Yeah.
So it just sucks because I'm like, you're one of my favorites and you're so good, but they're just kind of eating you alive out there.
There's a lot of deep balls in this game. Yeah.
Really tough time with that. That's one of them. And then, oh my gosh, McCarty fumbled? What?
Now,
trusty hands,
let's
McCarty?
put this in air quotes. He recovered it.
Yeah.
And they said that
that was an awesome explanation.
Oh, yeah. Andre Prue with the best explanation. There was a whole bunch of guys on top of him, but he had already got the ball. But you look at it on TV. Now, they would have had to, or I guess it didn't change possession, so I don't know if they did. I assume they reviewed it because it was considered the possibility of a turnover, but
to me, it was inconclusive because you saw McCarty did have it, and then he kind of jumped on, and you can kind of see the ball like right up on his upper chest, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
So Andrew Prue's explanation, or Andre Prue,
exactly.
His explanation was on point.
Oh, it was fantastic. I love Prue. I think that's fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, Calvin, come on, Betty.
I mean, it was one, but it's so rare because he's just like
he should have. I agree. He was down at the 1, but he should have had that touchdown too. He fell a little soon.
Yeah.
Come on, Calvin. I was even wearing my Calvin jersey.
Were you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, one more.
Yeah. I think I will. I have many, but.
I did like your just fourth quarter cringe, though. It was my favorite. Okay.
Well, like I said, I'm getting way more critical the later in the season because this is Grey Cup in Edmonton, you guys. Come on. We have to be in it. And win it. In it to win it.
I do like this. Yeah.
I would say when you have 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you need to eat that clock.
Yeah. Absolutely.
My goodness. It went back to Calgary twice.
And lots of passing instead of running to get those and run the clock.
Well, I don't care how you do it. You get those first downs.
Yeah.
That is your don't focus on touchdowns anymore. You focus on the first downs.
Yeah.
And they didn't do
6
that.
6-yard out, 4-yard run. Whatever.
Like I know
just run the clock.
A win is a win, but that was way too close. Especially with the 4 guys surrounding the 1 Stampeder, and he still caught the ball for some odd reason.
Almost.
Well, he caught it and then it got smacked out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just come on, 4 minutes. This home turf, you have the crowd with you. We were freaking loud, and seriously, you can't get those first downs.
No, I get it. Yeah, clock management, definitely a huge thing.
You?
Well, you took all mine, so that's good.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I just want to say that it's perfect. Exciting finish. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's horrible for the blood pressure, but it was an exciting finish. So, let's take a really short break here, and then we'll come back with our some Esks news, our PickEms, of course, and fantasy picks, and no Esks history moment. But
wait, Fred Stamps was awesome.
What?
History.
Oh, no. Nice. We'll be back right after this.
This is Bryant Batman Mitchell, and you're listening to the Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire podcast is brought to you by United Construction Company. As a full-service commercial general contractor, United Construction Company serves large and small-scale commercial, light industrial, and multifamily residential construction projects across Western Canada. UCC is a relationship-focused builder, forming a trust and respect that is at the forefront of their commitment to quality, value, and integrity. Visit their website at unitedconstruction.ca to find out more and support them as they support the Empire.
Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Get loud for me. Hands in the crowd, we tearing it down.
You can join the Empire online.
Find us at eskempire.ca.
Check out all the new blogs and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
For more history, follow at Esks History on Twitter.
And even more of my pics on Esk Empire Photo.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show. All right, let's get into some Esks news that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. So I did mention that Mike Riley did get Player of the Week, as well as Duke Williams, both of them for the big game and then the Return Classic. Riley also actually got the Player of the Month for August, and at the same time, he welcomed a new baby to the family. Yeah. So welcome to Cadence, and that's fantastic with the Riley family. Some of the other things going on there, of course, we mentioned it on the Periscope, but I don't think we've mentioned it here yet, that the Esks did make a trade last night for the Martese Jackson coming out of Toronto. We trade a third-round pick. There's also coming from Toronto a conditional sixth-round pick in 2020. I'm just going to assume that if Jackson re-signs with us, because his contract should be up, I believe, at the end of this year. If he re-signs, then we don't get the pick, but if he doesn't, then we get that other pick. Mm-hmm. So at least we have something with the pick that we're sending the other way. I think that's a great deal.
I think it's interesting that they made that move. I totally understand why, and I actually give them props for taking advantage of something that is so needed right now for us, and recognizing that, okay, this team is doing better, but where are we still losing ground? And it's definitely on the return game.
Right. Yeah. And this guy is a difference maker. So, and he can also slot in as a receiver as well. Yep. So with the injury to Darrell Walker, you want to kind of look at where things are with that.
He's a cool name, Martese Jackson. No, you just want to moonwalk to that. Like,
ow! Nice. And he'll probably still get number 30. Because I don't think we have anybody with a 30 right now.
I think you're right.
Yeah, all right. Well, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's great. And as I just mentioned, of course, Darrell Walker injured in the Labor Day Classic game, out 6 to 8 weeks. So that's a bit of a blow. So I think that might actually have kind of helped getting this deal done. Yeah.
Which is really weird, too, because I saw him on the sidelines after when they came back on. Yeah. And he was just bouncing and cheering. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. And then they announced, I'm like, how was he jumping? Like, ouch.
Well, and he had quite the brace on at the game on Saturday.
Well, now,
physio and all treatment started.
You're just like, okay, now it's serious. But before you were like jumping, running around the sidelines. So
that's all adrenaline.
It sucks
right
because he was actually doing really well this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, same thing like Kamar Jordan. I feel so bad for him. Season-ending knee injury, and he was on fire this year. So,
that's
2 of the top 3 receivers at the time go down.
Well, so many Tasker's back, but Tasker was out, and now
Manny Arsenault out.
Arsenault out.
Yeah, and the guy from Hamilton. Jalen Saunders. There it is.
Yes, thank you.
It just took me a second to get there.
Yeah, and then who just not Chad Owens. Oh my gosh, I just lost it. What's his face? I'll think about it. I just had his name, but Brandon Banks pulled a groin.
Oh, Brandon Banks.
His groin.
Really? Oh,
but
geez.
I don't think it's serious.
Probably
I think they were just resting him, so it's probably just a little bit tender, but I was just like, oh, that would suck because he's doing so well, but I don't think it's anything serious. So
hopefully be fine for the game. So oh my goodness,
especially against Calgary.
We need him. The last bit of news was we signed defensive lineman Gascon Adon, and I think that was another Canadian guy that Brock New from Ottawa, and he did have some great times in Ottawa as well. I had a great year when we were playing Fantasy before, so I knew that because I had him on my team and dropped him, and somebody else picked him up, and he got a bunch of sacks. And
Oh, there you go.
jerk. Anyway, so hopefully he'll be
you.
better here. Yeah, get lots of sacks here. That's how this is supposed to work. So. All right, let's get to our pick'ems, shall we? So the leader after this week is Steve-O18, new leader. We haven't had him this particular year, and
Well done,
it shows you
Steve-O.
that things are kind of moving around in
Yeah.
that top 10. I'm all the way up to 16th now.
Yeah, I noticed you just jettisoned up.
I went on a bit of a tear and had a bunch of rights, and so I got some bonus points, and that definitely helped.
I just keep sinking. It's all good.
Superfans up to 35th. You're 55th right
Yeah.
now, but that's okay. It'll all get better. I think you do a lot of picking with your heart, and that's not a problem.
Oh yeah, my pick'ems. I will not lie about this. It is who I want, not as who I think.
Okay, perfect. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Why else do you think I pick the Eskimos every week?
Well,
I'm like, I don't really care if I win or not. I
picked
want
them this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we all did. Look at that. Have to do that.
You.
So this week there's only 3 games.
Boo.
Because there's a lot of people. Am I the only person who's really missing Thursday night football?
No.
Like,
okay, I like Thursday night football, but I think I'm the only one who could say that I don't really care for the song, especially when they play it at like
Over and
before.
over. Yeah.
All those commercials. I'm like,
Yeah.
it just gets stuck in your head and.
Well, that's a good song if it gets stuck in your head. Anyway, I don't mind it, but I just miss having, Thursday,
Something-
Friday, Saturday.
yeah, yeah.
It's fun.
Is it because
but
NFL's back now?
Probably, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now I have to start watching that one on Thursday, maybe.
Oh, boo.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, so the first game up this week is on Friday night, and so we still have Friday night football, which is wonderful. BC versus Montreal in Montreal. Now, I do have Superfans picks, so I can make him pick first, which is always fun. So he picked BC in this game. Who do you have?
Well, I think BC is going to win. Mm-hmm. But, like you said, I go with my heart, and I really want to see Pipkin, the great Pipkin. Where's my Charlie Brown
reference? That's very nice. Yeah. Did you listen to the podcast Ryan one yet?
No.
No. The best. This happened on the Horseman was that he said Antonio Pipkin, and Sheldon said, "Oh, a good Irish lad," and he said, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, I thought you said Anthony O. Pipkin." So I love that. So from now on, it's going to be O. Pipkin for me. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Cute. Yeah, I was gonna pick BC, and I'm gonna do a split.
All right.
No, I'll pick Montreal because no one else is going to, and I'm
Wrong.
55th. Like, I don't care.
And you're wrong. I'm picking Montreal to win this game.
Oh,
I think O. Pipkin is going to do great.
oh, Pipkin!
Yeah, that's right.
Doodly doo, doodly doo.
I know. I just want to wear a green hat. But you know what? I think Montreal is on their way up. BC's defensive line against Ottawa played very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But at this particular moment, I do think that Montreal's offensive line is greater than Ottawa's offensive line because Ottawa's had to do a bunch of subbing out with injuries and things. And Pipkin makes the offensive line better because he's more mobile.
Yeah.
So I do, and I'm not sure even if it's going to be Lule or Jennings.
That's what I was just going to ask. Is Lou back?
I don't know for sure. We don't know because that crack, and I mean, man, that was nasty to watch, that hit.
Poor Lou.
Exactly. So, but I mean, BC defenses play better. I don't want to take anything away from
No,
them. I
not
think
at
this will
all.
be a close one, but I'm going to ride the Pipkin train on this one because I tell you, they're really going well. So only Mike's the odd man out, which is weird.
Usually it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that
Weird,
like?
eh?
Oh.
Neat. I was waiting for you to pick specifically for that. Okay. Saturday, we've got Calgary versus Hamilton in the Hammer. What do you got in this one, Kayla?
Holy Mazzoli, I'm so excited to say that again. Mostly just because they need to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? There's a reason why the top 3 quarterbacks are the top 3 quarterbacks, and Mazzoli happens to be one of those, and actually ahead of Bo Levi. Mm-hmm. So don't underestimate the Ticats.
All right. Yeah,
I
agree.
Having a slow start in the season means nothing. They're on fire right now, and I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I picked Hamilton as well. I know, and that might be me picking with my heart and not my head because I just want Calgary to lose.
Welcome to
again.
my world.
I love it. But I agree. I mean, Hamilton's playing very well now, and I really like the way their defense is playing. And I find that they're attacking in all levels. Like, it's not just... I mean, granted, if Banks is actually going to be out, I may change that pick.
I don't think he
Calgary
is, though.
But right now, he's scheduled to play. I think I'll stick with Hamilton. In Hamilton, I think they find a way to pull that off.
That's just it. Like,
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing in the
Although
Hammer
Calgary's
is
going to be real ticked after this. But
well,
still.
you know what, though? I find maybe the team, but with Bo Levi... It's not like you have a Riley and a Mazzoli. When they get ticked, they play with their heart and they refuse to lose. Yeah. Where Bo Levi is kind of like he relies so much on his team, which you should.
Yes.
But when you see Riley and Mazzoli, they're like, hell no. Like, I will take this ball down myself if I need to, right? So it's more grit. I think, personally speaking, I think Hamilton and Edmonton kind of have that same gritty, rough around the edges type playing, whereas Calgary's more streamlined, more prim and proper, even though that's not the
I get what you mean.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That long-winded explanation.
That's just fine.
And
Calgary's Mike's the odd man out because he picked Calgary again.
All right, okay, cool.
Okay, and the last one is Ottawa versus Saskatchewan. This is in Saskatchewan. I picked the Riders, unfortunately. Mike also picked the Riders, and you, Kayla?
Oh, my... I thought this was in Ottawa. I was excited.
No.
The way Ottawa's been playing and the way Saskatchewan's been playing in Saskatchewan, can I pick with my heart what I want?
You could if you want, yeah.
But okay. Ottawa's not going to win.
I know. Yeah, that's pretty much how this is.
But please prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Oh, yeah. I'd be very happy if they have one of their up weeks instead of their regular down weeks that they've been having. But if they had an up week and happened to find a way, I would not complain at all.
Someone take out ugly Sidney Crosby.
He sucks anyway. Their offense can't do anything. It's all the defense. Like, I picked their defense in fantasy last week and got 25 points because they had all those pick sixes. It's like, perfect.
Charleston Hughes?
Charleston Hughes, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, well, I don't know if you saw this article from the CFL, but it's like the MLPs kind of at a glance, like, who would you pick right now? Which was Bo Levi, Mike, and Charleston Hughes. And for me personally, as much as it sucks right now, I'd rather see Charleston Hughes win it.
Like, he's just all over the place.
And because he's not a quarterback, mostly quarterbacks win that, which is fine. But I mean,
he could get most outstanding defensive player too.
Yeah,
right?
but there's something to be said for an MLP going to a defensive guy, right? And at his age,
Limian won it before,
there you go. And at his age and he's firing on all cylinders. Like, props to him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's destroying out there.
As sucky as it. Join our team whenever you want.
We're all doing light green. Ugh, that's so painful.
Do you want to burn
all
this?
All right.
Can do a little tribal dance around it?
Write it down there. Yeah. If they finish fifth, I'd be fine with that. Okay, fantasy leader this week is Matt Pretty. So basically, it's like we never left.
Right?
No, there was a couple of weeks there where Tequila was in the lead, and it's all been very close. Now, I want to give congrats out actually to Matt because he also got married while we were away. So congratulations, exactly, to both of them, and I hope it was wonderful. And but that's awesome. And you're leading in fantasy. I tell you, he's just doing it all. I'm going to catch him though. I moved to 8th this week,
that's not
so
bad.
I'm getting up there.
Yep.
I've been as high as 5th, but 8th is not bad.
Nope.
Mike's in 23rd. I was trying to look over for some fantasy player picks this week, and it's tough because there's only 3 games.
Yeah.
When there's only 3 games, your players that you can pick are a tad limited, and to try and fit it in under a cap is a little difficult. But one thing I did do this week is I took the jump and went with O. Pipkin. as my quarterback.
Diddly-doo.
And so as soon as that happens, I had to pick a receiver to go with him because I like to double those up. So kind of deciding between BJ Cunningham or Ernest Jackson, but Cunningham seems to probably if I can fit him in price wise. So, but I think that could be an interesting game that's going on. It's weird for me to be picking Montreal players, but there's an opportunity there.
It's fun. I like it. As for all the picks that I did for Montreal at the beginning of the season,
yes,
I'm happy to say I told you so.
It's actually happening. You were just a little ahead of the game. That's all it is.
Actually, the Alouettes Twitter page actually liked that one when I was like, my pick finally paid off.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Thank you, Alouettes.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, as always, this was a blast.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're
Chuckles
back
all
and
around.
Getting a chance to chat and trip over all of our words. That's
Yeah,
always fun.
Might I actually add to that?
Yes.
Ugly Sidney Crosby is Zach Collaros, if you don't know.
Okay.
But I find Sidney Crosby incredibly attractive, so that's why he's Ugly Sidney Crosby.
Ugly Sidney Crosby. Yeah, no, I knew. See, I knew what you were talking about. Didn't realize that
You
we hadn't
out
explained
there.
it.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
That's very. I thank you.
It's
Thank
my
you for
future husband, but whatever.
Yes, okay, that's good. Okay, just barely. Hey, all right. Where does everybody find you on the internet?
The Twitters.
Yes.
At Duchess Lombardi.
Wonderful. And you can, of course, follow Superfan at 56 Parkies, me at Freepalicious, and, of course, you can find all the things for the show on Twitter at Esk Empire Pod. Thank you again to our sponsor, United Construction Company. So check out their website at unitedconstruction.ca and, of course, on Twitter at UCC_EDM. You down with UCC?
Yeah, you know me.
Wonderful. Make sure that you, of course, check out all of our links that are on the website, including their blogs, the Instagram, all those things. I mean, Kayla's amazing picture taking. You want to see all of those things.
You make me sound so professional.
You are professional.
My picture taking skills.
Your picture taking skills are, they kill it.
I got some good ones.
You do have that. Yes, exactly. So it's a bye week. So guess there's really only one question. Should we enjoy all the rest of the CFL games this week?
Absolutely.
And go Esks next week. For Commissioner Kayla and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.